This is Shersty Anderson, and I'm going to go over the role of the liver and pancreas in regulating digestion. So the pancreas, what is it? It's an organ of the digestive system, and it secretes enzymes, hormones, and bicarbonate. It has two main functions, one being an exocrine function, which helps and aids in digestion, and the other is an endocrine function, which regulates blood glucose levels through hormone production. So this picture right here, this yellow thing in the picture is the pancreas, and it sits right there on top of the small intestine, and it has a connection where it can secrete things into the small intestine. So the exocrine pancreas, it includes digestive enzymes and bicarbonate is what it produces. It has a sympathetic response, which would be a decrease in enzyme secretion, and during parasympathetic responses, it would increase enzyme secretion. So the exocrine portion are these orange with the green dot cells. These green dots are acinar cells. And so pancreatic acini are part of the exocrine portion, as I said, and these are the ones, these green things, are the ones that secrete digestive enzymes. And then these cells down here are called duct cells, and they are what secrete bicarbonate into the lumen of the stomach, or of the small intestine. I apologize. And so this would be the lumen of the small intestine. And then the endocrine pancreas is the hormonal control more so. And this would be more represented by the yellow. And then these little dots right here, around here, are the islet cells. And these are what produce insulin and glucagon, which are antagonistic to each other. Insulin decreases plasma glucose concentrations while glucagon elevates it. And so the sympathetic response inhibits insulin secretion, and parasympathetic response stimulates insulin secretion. So, and these duct cells that secrete the bicarbonate, bicarbonate is secreted into the small intestine in order to neutralize chyme that enters the small intestine from the stomach. And then pancreatic enzymes are secreted by zymogens, which once they arrive to the brush border have to be activated in order to enter the intestine. So the liver, on the other hand, its main function is to secrete bile. Bile is not an enzyme, and it is secreted from hepatocytes, and it is secreted into the duodenum through the gallbladder. So what happens is bile is secreted by hepatocytes. It goes into the hepatic ducts, and those ducts deliver bile to the gallbladder. And in the gallbladder is where bile is stored and concentrated, and then from there, it is secreted into the small intestine. So, components of bile are bile salts, which facilitate enzymatic fat digestion. They are from the liver, and they coat fat droplets. Bile salts are what make fat soluble during digestion. Bile pigments are the waste products of, say, hemoglobin degradation, which turns into bilirubin, and it is excreted. And then cholesterol is also a component of bile, and it is excreted in the feces as well. So bile salts remain as they are during digestion, and then once they finish their job, they return to the liver to be recycled through the hepatic portal vein is how they return. And this is where hepatocytes reuptake them and will secrete them again when they're needed. Bile pigments, however, are not recycled, and they are excreted through the feces, as I mentioned before. So here's the pancreas, as we talked about earlier, and then this big thing is the liver. So the liver also filters. Blood that enters the liver contains both nutrients and substances to be excreted. And then this is a hepatocyte over here. So this is the cell of a liver, or a liver cell, essentially. And so these substances that can be excreted are from the digestive tract, and they also include bilirubin from hemoglobin breakdown, as well as metabolites from tissues in the periphery. So some of these products that are considered waste are excreted in bile and then eventually excreted through the kidney and urine. So the pancreas and liver, they function together too, through fat digestion. So bile salts from the liver coat fat droplets, as mentioned earlier. A bile salt has a hydrophobic side and a hydrophilic side. So the hydrophobic side would be what is facing the fat droplet. They surround the fat droplet, bile salts. And the hydrophilic side would be the side facing outward toward more water. And then the pancreas releases lipase and cholipase to break fats into monoglycerides. And so this is how the pancreas and liver function together, and this is how they aid in digestion. And this is the role the pancreas and liver play in digestion. And this was all gotten from, this information was received from Human Physiology and Integrated Approach by Silverthorne.